Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, and members of the media. I'm delighted to welcome you all to Fire Station number 1 here in St. Paul this morning as we recognize National Arson Awareness Week and present official department awards to the unique team of dedicated professionals from the St. Paul Fire Department, the St. Paul Police Department, and the Ramsey County Attorney's Office. This city-county team has made some remarkable progress in the investigation and prosecution of arson crimes in the city, and National Awareness Week is a suitable time to recognize their concerted efforts against the crime of arson. Traditionally, arson has been considered a crime against property, but the victims of intentionally set fires, the firefighters who are sent to rescue the victims and extinguish the flames, and the investigators that sift through the rubble of burned out homes, businesses, and lives know the real truth. Arson is first and foremost a crime against people. In the past 25 years in Minnesota, incendiary fires have caused 59 deaths and more than $350 million in property damage. Last year in Minnesota, 3 people were killed by arson fires. More than 900 arson fires occurred in the state last year and caused over $6 million of direct property damage. $750,000 happened here in Ramsey County. Concerted efforts to stop arson have to start with vigilant community members, with the tireless efforts of firefighters, fire investigators, and prosecuting attorneys trained and willing to invest significant time and effort to developing criminal cases and bringing them forward to prosecution. Today we recognize those joint and individual efforts. Over the last 7 years, the St. Paul Fire Department investigators, the St. Paul Police Department, and the Ramsey County Attorney's Office have had an amazing partnership with amazing results. Arson fires have been cut 48%. Arson arrests have increased by 41%. The number of arson victims in the last 2 years alone has decreased 17%. Our conviction rates are up, our case closure rates are up, and for the first time in my professional memory, we have arsonists pleading guilty to arson crimes. That's a true testament to the thoroughness of case preparation and superior evidence collection. Most importantly, there's not been an arson-related fire fatality in St. Paul in the last 5 years. I would like now to introduce some of the people that make that possible. Our senior leadership is dedicated to this effort. It requires superb vision of a safer community and dedicated leadership to take us where we were to where we are. No one's been more determined to provide a clear vision of St. Paul and strong leadership necessary to build the most livable city in America than Mayor Christopher Coleman, and I'm delighted to introduce the mayor at this time. Mayor Coleman.
I'm grateful to be here. I'm grateful for the leadership of Chief Butler and the great leadership of Chief Martinez, Assistant Chief Martinez, and the St. Paul Police Department, the County Attorney's Office. It is the partnership that we have established in this community that is so effective in working to make sure that we are prosecuting arsons, that we're doing everything to prevent it, that we are doing everything that we can to save lives and to protect property. But arson is a different kind of crime than a lot of other crimes. It's not just about destroying property. It's about destroying a trust in a community. It's about destroying relationships. It's about destroying this feeling and sense of belonging. And that was very evident to me last year when I spoke to Reverend Walt Wheatsky from St. Mark's just down the street. After his church was set on fire, his office was set on fire as a result of an arsonist, there was a clear sense of betrayal, a clear sense of a lack of trust, a clear sense of broken community. In talking to the congregation members, you felt that same sense of pain, that same sense of loss. And so it was incredibly important that this team, this leadership team, move very quickly to identify a suspect and to arrest that suspect and to prosecute that suspect. And because of that, that trust in the community, that sense of faith in the community began to be restored. And that was an incredibly important piece. Arson is the kind of crime that shatters faith and trust in community. And that is why I'm so proud of the work that we're doing here. And so proud of the work of our community members to step up and to report arson crimes when they see or know something about them. We have a tip line here, a 1-800 number. If folks know about an arson crime, please call us, please report it, please let us know. we have the team that can pursue those leads. We have the team that can identify those suspects, prosecute them successfully, whether to convict them or have them plead guilty. But the fact of the matter is, it has to be that kind of team effort. I'm proud of the work that we do. We do it every day. The work between the St. Paul Police and Fire Departments is a consistent thread. We saw that just recently with the gentleman that collapsed outside of the Dorothy Day Center, and the team effort between police and EMS personnel that allowed that life to be saved. We do that on a regular basis. And when we do that in the context of arson fires and the destruction of the community, we begin to rebuild that trust in the community. We begin to rebuild the faith that we have. So I'm so grateful to all of your work, chiefs, and John Choi and your team at the County Attorney's Office. Let's keep on fighting this, because this is a crime that needs to be prevented, needs to be stopped, and when it happens, needs to be prosecuted to the fullest. Thank you.
Structure fires are deadly and chaotic emergencies. They move, grow, and destroy quickly, and they have no mercy for anyone or anything. Arson fires are especially hazardous situations, since oftentimes an accelerant is used and the resulting fires grow more quickly and burn even hotter. Building occupants, firefighters, police officers are all at extremely high risk when fighting arson fires. Evidence of an arson crime can also quickly be obliterated by the fire or suppression and rescue activities of responding firefighters. Our crews take special precautions to preserve areas of the home or business damaged by fire and to identify and preserve potential crime scene evidence of suspected arson fires. St. Paul Fire employs trained and certified fire investigators to determine the cause and origin of all fires in the city. Successful prosecution for arson crimes begins with these men and women digging through burned out structures looking for signs and evidence of arson. This work typically involves long hours, working alone, in the dark mostly, in fire damaged buildings. I'd like to introduce St. Paul Fire Marshal Steve Zachert. He's going to introduce the fire investigators and the backup investigators, and we'll present them with a unit commendation for their efforts to combat arson fires in St. Paul. Fire Marshal Zachert.
In fire department team of fire investigators is comprised of one full-time investigator on each shift, and each of those has backups. There's 2 captains on each shift that are specially trained through the State Fire Marshal's Office to investigate fires, accidental and arson fires. So together and then our office support staff together comprise the fire investigation unit here in the fire department. And we'd like them to step up. Jamie, Shannon, Brian, and Joe. These are the primary fire investigators in our office support staff, and also includes Captain Dennis Jones and Captain Jeremiah Melquist, Captain Larry Goodman, Captain Glenn Jenkins, and Captain Paul Wentler. Sarah and Candace too, please. Come on. Arson is a persistent criminal problem in American society, one that destroys lives, livelihoods, and a sense of well-being and security of the neighborhoods across the state and the nation. Over the past 5 years, the city of St. Paul and Ramsey County have joined forces to battle the devastating crime of arson in the city with dramatic success. Sustained performance of the St. Paul Fire Arson Investigation Unit is in keeping with the finest traditions of the American Fire Service and the St. Paul Fire Department, and is worthy of formal department recognition. The St. Paul Fire Arson Investigation Unit is in reality a multi-agency partnership between the St. Paul Fire and Police Departments and the Ramsey County Attorney's Office. Through close cooperation among agencies, extensive training and certification of individual team members, and an enduring commitment to identifying, apprehending, and prosecuting arsonists, the team has achieved remarkable success over the past several years. Each of you, as a member of the St. Paul Arson team, has contributed significantly to the overall decrease in arson by tirelessly photographing, measuring, digging out countless fire scenes, performing hundreds of interviews of witnesses and suspects, and building and prosecuting cases that have resulted in arrests, conviction, and prison for those who intentionally set fires. As a result of your dedication, tenacity, and teamwork, arson fires in St. Paul have been cut by 48% since 2007. In the last 2 years alone, the number of arson victims has decreased by 17%. Arson arrests have increased by 41%, and both case closure rates and conviction rates have increased dramatically. Most importantly, direct property damage from arson has dropped significantly, and there's not been an arson-related fire fatality in the city of St. Paul in over 5 years. The United States Fire Administration and Minnesota Governor Mark Dayton have declared this week of May 3rd through the 9th as National Arson Awareness Week to ensure home and business owners are educated about arson and what each of us could do to prevent and eliminate this deadly and damaging crime from our community. This National Week of Awareness is a fitting time to recognize your tireless efforts to fight fire and arson, or to fight arson fires in St. Paul. Your extraordinary successes are worthy of recognition and the heartfelt appreciation of the community. Therefore, I am proud to award this unit commendation to each member of our outstanding arson team. You are a distinct credit to the city of St. Paul. I am grateful for your extraordinary contributions to saving lives and property and restoring the sense of well-being and security in our St. Paul neighborhoods. Signed respectfully, Timothy M. Butler, Fire Chief. So congratulations. We've added a separate award for Fire Investigator Jamie Novak, and as I read it, you'll see why. It's called a Fire Service Award for long-term outstanding performance. Dear Jamie, the St. Paul Fire Department values sustained and superior professional performance of duty in the business of saving lives and property. Those with a passionate desire to know your enemy, fire, and who have a willingness and ability to pass on that knowledge to others are vitally important to the American Fire Service and our ongoing mission of keeping our community safe. You have repeatedly proven both a driven quest for knowledge of fire cause and propagation and a desire to help both firefighters and the general public apply that knowledge to fire prevention and fire investigation work. You are most deserving of the St. Paul Fire Department's Fire Service Award. Jamie, you are not just a member of the finest arson investigation team in the state, you are the leader of that team. We all value your training, experience, and wisdom about fire investigations, whether they are arson fires or accidental fires. You are a world-renowned expert and instructor on the cause and origin of fires, fire propagation, and fire scene investigation. Jamie's an instructor in fire investigations, and he's actually been asked countries all around the world to teach fire investigation techniques. So he's truly a world-renowned instructor. Your tireless efforts and demonstrated leadership have led to remarkable successes against arson fires both in the city and around the state of Minnesota. Arson fires have dropped 48%, 17% decrease in arson victims, and arson arrests have increased 41%. And most importantly, direct property damage and life loss has dropped significantly. In addition, the overall statewide reduction in arson fires by 52% during the past 10 years is due in no small part to your efforts. Whether you're setting learn to burn fires, he sets fires and you put out, then they train fire investigators to go in and figure out how that fire started. He does that all over the state of Minnesota. So whether you're setting learn to burn fires, teaching at the International Association of Arson Investigators annual conference, or just burning things in your garage in order to prove a theory about fire, your work has far-reaching and life-saving impact on firefighters, investigators, and citizens. There's no doubt that you know more about fire and have passed more on to others than any other person in the state. You will never know the number of lives you've saved through your educational work, the number of arsonists who have gone to jail as a result of your teaching efforts, or the number of innocent victims spared from criminal prosecution due to your myth-busting quest to understand fire. Back in my day as a fire investigator, what we thought was science, he's proven many of those as myths. Jamie, I am tremendously proud to work with you and learn from you. It is my honor to award you the Fire Service Award for sustained superior performance of duty in preventing the ravages of fire in the city of St. Paul and around the world. You are truly a gifted ambassador for the American Fire Service, and we are all grateful for your extraordinary efforts. Respectfully, Timothy M. Butler, Fire Chief.
Once fire investigators determine the origin of the fire within a building and they've determined that the fire was intentionally set, the Police Arson Investigation Unit proceeds with the development of the criminal case, evidence handling and collection, and processing and finding and interrogating the criminal suspects connected with the crime. St. Paul's been blessed with many talented police arson investigators over the past several decades. And St. Paul's drop in arson-related crime is directly attributable to the close working relationship between police and fire investigators. Here to talk more about that partnership and the police arson unit is Assistant Chief of Police Bill Martinez, Director of the Major Crimes Division of the St. Paul Police Department. Bill, welcome.
Thanks, Chief Butler. Again, my name is Bill Martinez. I'm the Assistant Chief, currently assigned to the Major Crimes Division, or Detective Division, as some people like to refer to it. I've had the honor and privilege of serving the St. Paul Police Department for over 25 years. You get that, Mayor? So it has been a great honor. I remember working the street as an officer, you know, showing up with the fire department, them directing, okay, you guys direct traffic, you know, you let us do the big stuff, the heavy lifting, which I appreciated. It wasn't until the Republican National Convention, where I was tied to the hip with now retired Chief Mike Hogan, that I really learned to appreciate all the efforts that go into an investigation. You know, in the 25 years that I've been here, one of the observations I've made is how complex these investigations can be. Before becoming the Assistant Chief, I was the Senior Commander of the Homicide Unit, and I thought those investigations were complex. Every morning I come in and read the Watch Commander's report if there's a significant fire or an arson investigation. I ask for a briefing, and it wasn't until then that I understand how complex these investigations can be. So St. Paul Police Department has something to contribute, St. Paul Fire Department have something to contribute, but if we merge those resources, we have what I would consider experts in the field. So whether you work for St. Paul Fire or St. Paul Police, our core mission and value is to provide professional service to the citizens of St. Paul, and I think this is a great example of how we do that. Thank you.
Senior police leadership has assigned some exceptional police officers to the Arson Investigation Unit in the past, but the unit took a significant step forward, I think, when Police Sergeant Candace Jones was assigned in September 2011. No one has been more tenacious or expert at case investigation as Sergeant Jones, and it's a pleasure to call her up to the podium to present a Fire Service Award for her sustained superior work in the Arson Unit. Candace? Come on up here. We have an award bill. You can help me present this if you want. All right, that sounds great. To Sergeant Candace Jones, St. Paul Police Department, the subject is the Fire Service Award. The St. Paul Fire Department holds in high esteem the public safety officers who dedicate themselves to saving lives and property through their superior service delivery, demonstrated leadership, and their enthusiastic teamwork in accomplishing our mission of saving lives and property. You have proven to be a standard bearer of those values for a sustained period of time while assigned to the St. Paul Fire Arson Investigations Unit. As a critical member of the arson team, your efforts have helped us achieve extraordinary successes against criminal suspects who choose to intentionally set fires in the city of St. Paul. Since being assigned to the St. Paul Fire Arson Investigations Unit in September 2011, your personable approach and professional attitude has added an intangible spark to our team. No pun intended, I guess. Sorry about that. Your willingness to learn the arson tradecraft and your tenacious investigation skills have improved evidence handling procedures and has resulted in increased case closure rates. You have repeatedly demonstrated a tenacious attitude towards identifying suspects and conducting witness and suspect interviews. Your superior thoroughness in case preparation and ability to work with the county prosecutors have increased conviction rates for arson. As a result, the Fire Arson Investigations Unit has achieved some remarkable successes. We've mentioned them before. 48% decrease in arson fires in St. Paul since 2007. A 17% decrease in the number of arson crimes in the last 2 years alone. Arson arrests have increased by 41%, and both case closure rates and conviction rates have increased dramatically. Most importantly, direct property damage from arson has dropped significantly, and there's not been an arson-related fire fatality in St. Paul in over 5 years. You were recently named Fire Investigator of the Year by the Minnesota chapter of the International Association of Arson Investigators, and you've been named the 2015 Officer of the Year by the Minnesota Association of Women Police for your leadership and dedication to fighting the crime of arson. Candace, the St. Paul Fire Department has been blessed to work with some of the finest St. Paul police officers in the Fire Investigation Unit over the years, but you have been by far the most energetic, engaging, and successful one. The hard work, intelligence, and teamwork you demonstrate every day are critical to the success of the Fire Arson Investigations Unit, and your sustained superior performance has led to remarkable accomplishments in prosecuting arson and preventing more arson fires. Therefore, I'm proud to award this Fire Service Award for your extraordinary accomplishments. You're a distinct credit to the St. Paul Police Department and the City of St. Paul, and we at St. Paul Fire are grateful for your superior work and exceptional friendship. Thank you. Another critical partnership in our arson reduction team is with the Ramsey County Attorney's Office and Ramsey County Attorney John Choi. We approached John several years ago and asked that he help address the persistent problem that we had in getting arson cases successfully prosecuted. As a result, he committed to designating an assistant county attorney to arson cases and ensuring that attorney receives special training in handling arson cases. You've heard the results of that partnership, and now it's my pleasure to introduce the Ramsey County Attorney, John Choi, to talk about the county attorney's work and their role in reducing arson in the city. John, thank you.
Well, good morning, everybody. It's a real pleasure for me to be here, and you know, I've been in my role now as the county attorney and also the St. Paul City Attorney for almost a decade, and one of the things that I've come to believe that, and today we're celebrating a lot of good outcomes, and nothing good in terms of those outcomes, it never happens unless there's something very fundamental that happens before that, which is the partnerships. And we're talking a lot about this joint team that's been put together, and that really is what drove all of this. It's that teamwork to recognize how important our efforts are in enforcing the laws with respect to arson and having that value and then working together as a team. And I want to give some credit to somebody that really is the person who's kind of handing out some of the awards, but our Fire Marshal, Steve Zachard. You know, when I decided to run for county attorney, from that moment, Steve was talking to me just about every time he would see me, and he would be advocating for the fact that we needed to do a better job around arson and wanted to create this team. And so it really stuck with me. And so one of the things that I did after I became elected and sworn into county attorney was to recognize the importance of that in making sure that we were part of that team. And so what we did was created a vertical prosecution model by assigning Sarah Corey, who's just done a phenomenal job. It's just so great to see how she's connected with the arson investigators in the fire department and also in the police department, and this team, to see them coalesce. And then you see the great results that have been accomplished, because you know, in 2009, 2010, annually we had about 3 arson cases that would be charged. And today, on an annualized basis, we've charged triple that amount, and in some years we've gone beyond that. And so you see some of the great results, and also these cases have led to convictions. People have actually pled guilty, and all of that is a testament to the really hard work of this team and the hard work of Sarah to recognize the importance of this and being a part of that team. And so Chief and Mayor and Chief Martinez, I just want to thank you, all of you, for this really important partnership, and ultimately at the end of the day, we're doing good work for the public, the people that we work for.
Up here, Sarah Corey, to receive an award as well, and John, if you'll present the award, I'll do the pleasure of reading it. This is to Assistant County Attorney Sarah Corey. Letter of recognition. Dear Sarah, the St. Paul Fire Department holds in esteem public safety officers who dedicate themselves to saving lives and property through superior service delivery, demonstrated leadership, and their enthusiastic teamwork in accomplishing our mission of saving lives and property. You have proven to be a standard bearer of those values while serving as the designated prosecutor for arson crimes committed in the city of St. Paul. As a critical member of the arson team, your efforts have helped to achieve extraordinary successes against criminal suspects who choose to intentionally set fires in the city. Since joining the Ramsey County Attorney's Office in June 2002, you have willingly accepted the assignment of being the lead expert at preparing cases and prosecuting arson crimes in the county. You've undergone specialized training in arson investigation and case management and have demonstrated superior ability to bring arson cases to closure and criminals to justice. Through thorough case development and meticulous attention to detail, you've set a new standard in resolving arson cases. By mentoring other team members of the St. Paul Fire Arson Investigation Unit in the intricacies of the law and arson case management, you have made the team more proficient and successful in their efforts to combat arson in the city. Sarah, your willingness to learn, mentor, and perform as a central leader of the team has helped us achieve some remarkable successes. A 48% decrease in arson fires in St. Paul since 2007, a 17% decrease in the number of arson crimes in the last 2 years alone. Arson arrests have increased by 41%, and both case closure and conviction rates have significantly increased. Most importantly, direct property damage from arson has dropped significantly, and there's not been an arson-related fire fatality in St. Paul in 5 years. You really took the time to learn from the victim and the investigator's perspective what arson's about. Appreciate that. The U.S. Fire Administration, Minnesota Governor Mark Dayton has declared the week of May 3 through 9 as National Arson Awareness Week, and it's a fitting time to recognize your exceptional work and the notable results of your efforts to fight arson in the city of St. Paul. And therefore, I'm proud to award this letter of recognition to you as a valued member of our arson team. You're a credit to the Ramsey County and the city of St. Paul, and we're grateful for your extraordinary efforts. Thank you, sir. Thanks again, ladies and gentlemen, for being here today. If you have any information about the arson fire that happened on Cook Avenue yesterday, please report that to the arson hotline. We'd like to put that guy behind bars too. Thank you.